On today's wrestling news, Disney and WWE have signed a deal. Cody Rhodes and Sami Zayn are commenting on their contract situations. Is Brock Lesnar moving brands, and a whole lot more. Hey there, welcome to DMK Wrestling News with me, Darkman Papa. And today we are starting off talking about a fairly hot button topic, which is WWE and Disney signing a deal, and you will understand why it's a hot button topic in a second. But basically, the Sports Business Journal yesterday published a story that WWE and the Walt Disney Company had signed a deal primarily involving Disney Plus Hotstar. Now, Disney Plus Hotstar is an Indonesian brand with Disney content, and what they want to do with this deal is move WWE network content onto that Disney Plus Hotstar platform. And this provision of content will start with the Royal Rumble Premium Live event on Saturday, and this is where it becomes a semi-hot button topic because of all the releases, especially in the last year and a half. It has been speculated so many times that WWE might be considering selling to another company, and Disney's name has popped up a number of times as possible buyers of WWE. So we will see if this leads to further deals down the line. But with regards to this is not new for WWE. Of course, they have signed a deal with BT Sports for Europe and the UK. Then SuperSport in Africa here signed a deal with WWE back in 2019 to push their content over here. So this is not really new. It's just interesting that it's Disney for that matter. Anyway, we'll see if this leads to more deals down the road. But speaking of deals, let's talk about Sami Zayn's contract, which he recently renewed with WWE. He was on the Anti-Pause de la Lutte podcast. I think I may have mispronounced it. Please don't be offended. But Sami Zayn did talk about the fact that yes, his contract was coming up. He renewed it. They wanted him to stay, and that's why he renewed it. And everybody should be happy for him, honestly. Sami Zayn is one of the best performers in WWE today. You give him whatever you want to give him, and he knocks it out of the park every single time. Of course, when his contract was coming up, as well as with Kevin Owens' contract, a lot of people wanted them to go to AEW, and quite frankly, I'm happy they didn't go. I'm glad they're staying with the company. As long as they're happy, as long as they're setting up their families, that's really all that matters. But moving on to another contract situation, let's talk about Cody Rhodes, who has confirmed Sean Ross Sapp's story from Wednesday that he was not working with a contract in AEW. And Cody did confirm this on AEW's channel on YouTube, saying that he and Tony Khan practically have a handshake deal. It has been said that Cody's deal expired at the end of 2021, which was just last month. And it's very interesting to know that he's working without a contract. However, it has been stated that he is working on a new contract with the company, so I guess we might get the details of that quite soon. Royal Rumble season coming up, and all this talk of the Forbidden Door, it has been speculated as well that he potentially might be in the Royal Rumble. We don't know if that's going to happen. Of course, Cody is one of the founders of AEW, and is or was, I don't know the situation with that, but was serving as executive vice president of AEW. We will see. I don't know where this is going to go. None of us does, but as I say a lot these days, we will see where that goes. Now let's talk about some Jon Moxley related news, and specifically Charles Barkley. Charles Barkley did make some comments on the Steam Room podcast with Eddie Johnson, the TNT Inside the NBA squad, and he spoke about the fact that he was a wrestling fan and he saw what Jon Moxley went through recently, his problems with alcohol addiction and whatnot, and going to rehab and checking in and all of that, and how proud he was of him. And he also cited the fact that he has a brother he lost due to addiction and all of those things. But it was very nice to see those comments coming from the mouth of an NBA legend in Charles Barkley. But someone else who has been talking about Jon Moxley quite recently is the head of the table, the tribal chief, the Universal Champion, Roman Reigns, who appeared on the Sports Illustrated Media podcast just yesterday and was talking about all of this. And specifically when it comes to Jon Moxley, he did cite the fact that they are good friends indeed. And when asked about the Bully Ray comments that caused so much controversy last week, Roman did say he understood where Bully Ray was coming from. He saw what he was saying, but that was only because he's worked for a billion-dollar wrestling company where these mindsets are not exactly the newest thing to come across. In as much as that was the case, Mox didn't need to apologize to anyone. He did the most responsible thing and has inspired so many people to keep fighting. And really, Jon Moxley doesn't owe anybody an apology. If you're going through something, your mental health is priority, and that's what he did, and we are all proud of him for doing that, evidently. Roman also spoke about his recent COVID battle just around the start of the year, which caused him to miss the day one pay-per-view. And he has spoken about the fact that he still deals with chest tightness, and you know, it's just so much that has happened to him. And he did state the fact that even though he has been vaccinated and boosted, this is something that really did affect him, and I personally have not gone through it. I wouldn't wish that on anybody else. But people are going through legitimate struggles, and the tribal chief did go through one recently. At least we are glad he's okay. There was so much talk about the fact that because he may be immunocompromised because of his bouts with leukemia in the past, it was a point of concern, but we're glad he's back, and he will be defending the championship, the Universal Championship, at the Royal Rumble tomorrow night. Now, let's go ahead and talk about Vader. Now, there are two things, and I was going to make a video, but this has really altered those plans for a bit. But the fact remains, and actually has come out, PW Insider's Mike Johnson reported this, that several sources within WWE have confirmed to some degree to him that he is not appearing on Raw anytime soon, and he is not scheduled to be at the Royal Rumble at all, meaning he might not even be in the Royal Rumble match. I'm bummed out about this because I was going to make a Royal Rumble list of surprises, and I was going to include Vader as my number one. I guess that's out the window. I really have to rework that video, but the point remains, Vader is still not showing up, and I really don't know what's going on. Vader was with Jinder Mahal and Shanky, and then he was broken up to become a single star on Raw. Jinder Mahal and Shanky have appeared on SmackDown quite a bit, but Vader hasn't. I don't know what the deal is. I don't know if they don't have plans for him. In the meantime, he has been working on Main Event and has beaten the likes of Cedric Alexander, and I don't remember who else, but the point is, Vader, I don't know. If they don't have plans for him, why don't you stop airing the vignettes that you have been every single week, making it a gag, and almost forcing me to create a Vader counter on my pros and cons show. But anyway, let's move on and talk or finish off with some Brock Lesnar news. Now, it has been stated that after the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view on February 19th, Brock will appear on February 21st edition of Monday Night Raw. And this is coming straight from WWE.com, but apparently Brock is then scheduled to be on SmackDown on February 25th, March 11th, and the 25th of March. So there is some speculation as to whether or which of these two men, Roman Reigns or Brock Lesnar, will lose their titles. My money is on Brock to lose the championship at the Royal Rumble tomorrow against Lashley, for the sole purpose that he really wasn't intended to be in that WWE Championship match at day one, and then somehow he won the title. But that has really gone a long way to working out for almost everybody. I don't think that Brock needs to win the Royal Rumble tomorrow either, because there has been talk of the fact that whichever one of these two men loses their championships tomorrow might enter the Royal Rumble match and potentially win it. But I don't think this feud needs a Royal Rumble win. It would be a waste. Of course, there has been talk of Big E going ahead to win the Rumble tomorrow night, but either way, we will see. Do look out for my predictions video on the Royal Rumble tomorrow. I will try to get those list videos out, but if I don't, well, please don't blame me. So much has happened. I will do a pros and cons on the Royal Rumble, and I will hold a live stream reacting to the Royal Rumble as and when I can. Alright, that's going to be it. Thanks so much for watching this video. Post your comments down below. Let me know what you think of these stories. Subscribe to DMK Wrestling for more wrestling news, lists, pros and cons shows, and all of the good stuff we love about wrestling. My name is Darkman Kwako. Thank you so much, and I will catch you in another video very soon. Take care. Goodbye.